And the Silver Ferns have won the toss. So Langman, to get us underway, straight to Tutayer. George breaking down into the pocket. Important for Jamaica to get away to a great start, just as England did against Australia. Keep their heads high and keep their confidence up.
Great hold from Byfield. Sharon Kelly allows the contest at the shot, says the distance is good.
Brian. That couldn't quite take it cleanly forward. Pops it over the top, though, to Romelda Aitken. She's tall.
Such a graphic picture on court for this match. The black uniforms of the Silver Ferns and the bright gold of Jamaica. Connie Francis on screen. 5 World Championships she has contested. So a wealth of experience there. Former goal attack for Jamaica.
So Henry Thompson trying to offer but can't, and there's, as she has a little laugh, Van Dyke offering herself in defence.
New Zealand beating Jamaica comfortably when they last met, because that was only a couple of months ago, and of course Jamaica were without Byfield, no Evering, no Forbes, no Janelle Fowler, so quite a depleted line when they toured Australia and New Zealand.
So you can't take much of a form line through that match then. A bit like Australia's 1-goal loss earlier this year to England.
And it does show you the vast differences in preparation. I mean, Australia and New Zealand, a 3-4 year preparation towards an event like this in the building process and harnessing their players in combination. Jamaica, in contrast, players are off in America playing basketball, they're unavailable for studies, and they don't have that time together. Some of their players in Australia are playing in ANZ, so they don't have that regular access to their players and the ability to form the line.
Scarlett wasn't keen on the call. They're both going to be out now. Good crowd in. Number of Kiwi flags. All those English flags have been pulled down. George over the top to Van Dyke. The big stretch.
Stunning ball and a stunning stop from Van Dyke. Up high with one hand. Absolute control at the fingertips for the world's most capped netballer.
Just gonna love the way she plays. The only thing wrong with her is that she's not an Australian, of course.
No, former South African. 72 caps for South Africa, but long term has she been in New Zealand since 2000.
Just an outstanding ambassador for the game, as we tongue-in-cheek say. There's the only thing wrong with her is that she's not an Australian. She's just wonderful. You wonder just how many young girls have taken up the game because of someone like Irene Van Dyke. There'd be plenty of them, thousands.
Aitken not going to the post, despite it being a short-range shot. She offloads to the captain. Jamaica running goal for goal.
Good work from George, and again, easy ball in. She's certainly winning the battle against Byfield and Evering. That time was Evering that was on her as they'd switched in defence. Henry now for Jamaica. There's been a holding call inside the circle. Forbes will pop it over for Aitken.
We don't doubt Jamaica's ability to run early in the game. I mean, they led Australia. Australia went to the first break trailing by 2. They rectified it in the second quarter and gradually opened the lead. But it's their long-term game plan that we question. But at the moment, as we expect, able to take it to anybody, and certainly are to the world number 2.
Tutayer didn't make that easy, bumping into the post and shaking it all over the place as the ball was in the air. One of the things about their game dropping off a little in the third and fourth quarter, as we've seen it with Jamaica, it's a symptom of the fact that they don't play at the sort of level that we have in the ANZ week in, week out, at the level of intensity that our teams play.
And their fitness program, their fitness schedule, nothing like Australia and New Zealand, which really do make sure that every single girl has the full 60 minutes available to them of high-level performance.
Well, you could throw if he wasn't busy, you could throw Bomberto in, or for that matter, Langman into the marathon on Thursday.
They don't have time.
They certainly do enough running.
New Zealand looking comfortable, though, for my money at the opening of this match. That's a nice contest from Byfield. Her left shoulder heavily strapped. She had good inside position to the ball. Was up nice and clean and early, timed it well.
But they're defending right across the court, aren't they? Make it difficult for them to get out of the centre third, as Thompson, the centre, has got, well, had Forbes for a moment she could have delivered to, particularly with Williams hitting the deck. There might be just a bit of perspiration on the floor there. Williams seemed to slip. Good
pressure from Williams. She and Scarlett really disguising the space, so there's hesitancy in putting the ball to Romelda Aitken. And that was a lovely reach from front position, forcing the throw in. No contact on court. Now Scarlett will stand out.
She's done well to force her way into the starting line.
There you see the great positioning from Byfield, up early and high to the ball, creating a turnover for Jamaica. And this is the opportunity to equalise.
Oh, good ball.
Well, that was an almighty leap from Aitken. Sometimes she lacks the timing and the strength in the air. That didn't show that. That was almost mirroring the great Van Dijk at the other end.
And we'll see it as she gets plenty of air, but it was a wonderfully weighted ball, wasn't it?
Well, that's crucial for Jamaica's performance of this game, that Aitken doesn't back away from that kind of responsibility. Yes, they can go to Janelle Fowler on the bench, who's the same height, a little bit stronger in build, but she lacks the experience of Aitken. Aitken needs to stand up.
To Langman now, the Tutayer. Van Dijk make herself available under the post. Tutayer goes with a shot, but well rebounded. We've got some height advantage up there.
Scarlett thinks about going out for the ball, but backpedals to join Williams and to concentrate on Aitken. Aitken looking comfortable early.
Byfield's not exactly short, but Van Dijk does have 3 inches on a Byfield at 6 foot, Van Dijk 6'3".
Evering just dropping the shoulder and putting the arm out a little early and sustaining it. Again, we've talked about it. They need to keep the feet working, and then the arm comes out as a reaction to ball. It can't be held.
Shooting well at the start of this match, Tutayer.
And that will be hard to stop. Circle edge feeding position, a one-on-one. Aitken's height, a well-placed ball will not be able to be stopped. Connie Francis was disappointed with her side against Australia.
Oh, nice ball.
Ferns on the 98th occasion. Another great ball, and it's O'Brien doing the workload in assists, in feeds to the circle. Tiny player in stature. Very experienced, though.
Offered herself straight through the centre and threaded the needle, Langman, with the pass. Look at that work going on there in the circle.
Oh, early contact call against Williams really keeps her well from the circle. She's set on the transverse line. Scarlett is containing Aitken, but just see bottom of screen. Simone Forbes hovering parallel. She put the drive onto the base now. She didn't go in early. She wanted to leave it a one-on-one contest for Aitken.
And given her height, she'll always be hard to stop in that circumstance.
Nice switch from the Jamaican defenders. Byfield picking up the drive, top of circle from Tutayer, and Evering switching on to Van Dijk.
And a little pat from Tutayer to Van Dijk. As Forbes now. Again, the big lob pass to Aitken. Forbes drives through the centre. Aitken thought about giving it, but instead drove it across to Brian.
It was a slow ball, though, and it gave the Silver Ferns plenty of time to shut it down. Another call against Casey Williams. Use of the hip. Well-placed ball. Over and behind the reach of Aitken, so well from the reach of Scarlett.
And Aitken went a couple of metres away to get it and still had 1 foot on the ground. Great split.
Don't know that we ever see Aitken stand up to her full height. She tends to slouch a little, and it's a deceptive picture on camera. They seem even height, those two, but Aitken with good height advantage. And I'd suggest, look, I don't know that I'm brave to say anybody has arms longer than Anna Scarlett, but if there is somebody, it's Aitken.
Interesting, the start that we saw again from Langman and Tutai. It was exactly the same start from the centre that we'd seen previously, and that time Jamaica read it much better and almost intercepted. That was a wonderful ball from Forbes.
Brilliant ball, great deception, lifted the Silver Fern defenders in the air, and like a bullet around the body of Scarlett into the stomach of Romelda Aitken, who did well to catch it. She's more used to it being in the air.
And Aitken is shooting at 100%, by the way. The Kiwis down to 93 with that one miss earlier from Van Dyke. Noel needs to get rid of it. Henry's there for it. Thompson's not offering enough. Brian.
Spoke with Norma Plummer after Australia's match against England, who said she had to remind the Australian players to stop looking at the outcome, stop looking ahead, stay in the moment. I think you mentioned it yourself in the call, John. Process, procedure, execution. You know, you've been told the game plan, just do it. As simple as that. And this is a danger for both these sides. The Silver Ferns need to withstand Jamaica's ability to run with them, stay in the game. 60 minutes of doing it. That's the contact you saw. Aitken had clean single-handed possession. Scarlett in late. This isn't a game where you need 2 hands on the ball to have control, and it comes down to the experience of the umpires to gauge whether the single hand is a controlled action. Turnover for Jamaica.
It's a good moment for it too, because they'll get the next centre. And New Zealand know it, and they're certainly muscling up in defence. An example there from Williams, couldn't take the intercept. Great ball.
What a ball from Brian. She was under contact because Williams been called for the contact, but it wasn't set. It was just an advantage, so she really didn't get any benefit out of it.
And it travelled half the court, and now a chance for Jamaica, as we were mentioning, to get out by 2. Good lead.
Connie Francis gives nothing away. She knows there is a long way to go in this sudden death semi-final. And she'll know only too well that only 3 teams have contested gold at any major international in netball, any major event. And that one of those teams is not Jamaica. It's Australia, New Zealand, South Africa. She'd love to change that.
Yeah, Jamaica's best performance, of course, bronze, both at World Championship level and Commonwealth Games level. So Van Dyke, the little lean as always. With Aitken, a bit pensive, and that's a poor ball from the centre.
We talked about Laura Langman's workload as Temapara George works a double play and drives it in. And let me just elaborate on her workload a little more for you. Since her debut in 2005, Laura Langman has played 63 consecutive tests.
Just doesn't know how to be injured. Actually spends most of the time on court. There's Kimberly Green. Was that with the mum?
With the mum, Denise Lang, but lovely shot. Would be just so thrilled. Not only, well, we know she's over the moon to see Kim included in the Australian Delhi Dozen, now on track to contest gold, but she'd also be thrilled to see Kim force her way into the starting lineup.
Oh, nice intercept. And the other thing about Kimberly is we did notice too, just getting some fuel in. Really important to refuel, rehydrate. Oh, just out of reach.
And the Jamaican fans who are sitting immediately behind the Jamaican bench, the heads were thrown back, the hands went to the heads. It was horror.
If Kim can manage to get herself a gold medal on Thursday, she'll have a few to catch up, though.
Needs another 3 or 4 after that.
Yep, Mum has four from Edinburgh. A bit tougher when you can only win 1 per game, though, as there's only 1 on offer in netball.
I'm just wondering how long the Silver Ferns will withstand this. The space behind the Scarlett well open to Imelda Aiken, and Scarlett won't be happy with that first quarter. Waitamanu.
That you were speculating about.
Yes, I think Scarlett's head was down by the end of that first quarter. The ball going well and truly over her, just far too easily. So Ruth Aiken has pulled the reins, called the change early. And we now see Liana De Bruin, also impressive height. She's now playing forward position of goal defence, and they've swung Casey Williams back to keep her. So the Silver Fern captain with a huge task of containing Imelda Aiken.
Well, poor pass. It'll go down as an intercept, but it was hardly. It was delivered straight to her. Just what they ordered for Jamaica. You see Williams, De Bruin, as Anne's already mentioned, working forward in that circle.
That was such a confident, ambitious ball put by Bryan through 2 Silver Fern defenders beyond the reach of Williams. Great confidence for the Jamaican side and clever lead up to it. They were playing inside space, keeping it close, so that the Silver Ferns really didn't get access to the ball in the prelim moves.
Well, that was a shame. And a great chance now for the Silver Ferns. De Bruin. George, gee, she's quick.
I think he called Sherelle McMahon twinkle toes in the earlier semi-final as she juggled along the baseline. It's a nickname just as well suited to Temepara George.
Particularly seeing she won Dancing with the Stars in New Zealand. To Thompson.
Good work. There you see the reach of De Bruin. Good distance and pressure over the feed.
Yeah, hard for Forbes to go anywhere but backwards, which is exactly what she had to do. As Henry now just trying to get herself set with
poor
free pass.
Poor ball from Forbes. And she took a while. She telegraphed it. So Williams, quick to slip off front position, came round and attacked it from behind Aiken.
Aiken muscling up in defence, though. Williams now will find De Bruin. Ooh, difficult ball for Langman to take under a lot of pressure from both Bryan and Thompson.
Liana De Bruin disappointed with herself for that ball. All the hard work done by the defensive end. She knows she's just given it straight back to Jamaica. We see it's like a tennis match. It reverts back to black.
Yeah, not the greatest start from either side in this second period. They're just settling it down now.
Tutayes trying to leave the space for Van Dijk, but Jamaica dropping back to play 2 in the circle, are filling that space. So no clear open spaces in which to attack.
But they're back in front and with the centre. Tutayes was cutting along the goal line, but there was no chance to get the pass through to her, so they show great patience. Oh, nice shot. Thompson. Falls wanted it, can't get it to her. It's away to Aiken. And don't forget, you'll see both the gold medal game and the bronze medal game on Fox. I'm pretty sure it's Foxtel, right? I'm pretty sure it's Delhi 4, but I'll double check that for you and let you know. Thursday evening.
Good ball over to Van Dijk, who's solid on the take. You see Byfield with good elevation and a good stretch, but not the physique to match the extension of Irene Van Dijk, as Jolene Henry is a little slow to recover. And now we see De Bruin on the ground, struggling to clear herself from Forbes. So it's becoming willing.
A little pop pass, so Aiken can use her height.
Moves the ball away from the reach of De Bruin, who clobbers the captain in the process.
Just stretching out and losing balance. Oh, good run from George to make herself available for the long pass from Tutayao.
And in any other company, that ball to the pocket that New Zealand are playing would be easy fodder for Byfield. She'd love to pick them off, but she can't afford to because of Van Dijk positioned at post. It's a similar formula, really, at both ends of the court.
Too dangerous, Van Dijk. Tutayao, Langman, Van Dijk coming to the top of the circle. She finds a drive, though, from Tutayao as Van Dijk positions herself again. And she'll get an opportunity right now.
And that was all Langman. The pressure over the ball. She picked up the intercept. She drove it down court. She delivered.
Tutayao looking for someone to dump it to. Langman hits the deck under a bit of pressure from Thompson.
Similar pattern, John, as was the Jamaica-Australia game, where Australia was under pressure early, Jamaica running with them. It was in the second quarter that Australia started to open the door, establish a corridor on which to build their win. As time is called by Jamaica, Connie Francis quick to get to her team, knowing that the margin is just getting away on the world number 4.
Just trying to work out who it is they're going to decide is injured. Oh, there is someone down. Right. They all walked over, and then Brian was suggested to her that perhaps you've got a problem, and fair enough, it's a settler.
Well, but Brian, it would have been a particular player that called the timeout, so Brian would have been the player that called it. So that would have been teed up from the sideline. Gary Burgess just watching closely as at the other end, Waitamanu commands the defence end for the Silver Ferns and fine-tunes their performance. I think that gesture was, you're right, you're in there, keep it coming. And Ruth Aiken was working with the forward line. Temapara George always a smile on her face. They look pretty comfortable, the Silver Ferns.
And the Australian outfit sitting just back and behind from us. Kimberly Green is across the other side with her mum, which is fair enough, but the rest of the team sitting together. Not that many opportunities to get out of the venues or the village, of course. So, chance to see her mum. But the Australians waiting for the victors. And of course, England will play the loser for the bronze medal. Oh, good ball to Aiken, who does well, but it's going to go out.
Well, the ball was actually dropped short, and that's why she couldn't pluck it out of the air. Almost into Williams' reach. Brian needs to use the space behind her. It was high rather than placed high and beyond.
De Bruyne. Oh, Langman. A good little in and away. Great footwork.
Langman with far too much room to operate at the moment. Thompson needs to really work her one-on-one game and go with Langman.
The trouble is Langman's footwork was just too good. Thompson started to go there, a little step and away, and Thompson just wasn't aware enough. It's great stuff. So she's just a bit too good at the moment, George, for Thompson.
Good work, though,
from the keeper.
And that's Aiken on court, a defensive change for Jamaica as we see Evering leave the court. And Nicole Aiken, older sister of Romelda, now on a goal defense for Jamaica. Over the top they go to Aiken. That's a better ball. That turns the defense. Turned Aiken too, but she had plenty of room for the take.
Shooting's just dropping off too, isn't it? 87% now. Shot at 100
Williams,
for most of that first quarter.
Williams peddling steps in the air, trying to stay up there and hang over that high release from Aiken. Getting a bit niggly, Williams and Aiken. Just like Scarlett before her, Williams doesn't enjoy 2, 3 or 4 balls consistently going over her head untouched.
A couple in a row, though, for Jamaica. Gets it back within 3. Tutayao to stretch it out again. Doesn't have the intensity of the Australia-England game. Of course, England was in front for a long, long while. They were tied up at quarter time, England in front at half time. And again at 3/4 time, Williams, brilliant.
Beautiful denial by Casey Williams, showing off her great elevation. Bit of a shooting competition going on. I mean, Irene van Dijk enters this game at 93% accuracy and Romelda Aitken at 92%, both with the volume.
Instruction call against Langman. Aitken dips it back out.
Yeah, but Aitken not exploiting that. She could have landed that with a big split to have a closer range and could have turned to the post. They're the things where you need to take responsibility, particularly when you're in chase position.
And the great players do it too, don't they? We see Van Dijk doing it constantly. De Bruin.
Liana De Bruin, of course, sorry, John, to speak over you. Of course, former South African teammate of Irene van Dijk.
Yeah, well,
Two for the feature for the Silver Ferns, and you just have to wonder if you factored them into South Africa's line.
Yeah, well, we were talking about that in the car on the way out, weren't we? And also, of course, South Africa without their injured skipper from most of...
Yeah, Lisa VM injured, which what we think was a calf strain. She did take the court, but matters made worse, ended up on crutches.
Yeah, played half of one game, so who knows what could have been for South Africa.
Displeasure, let's call it displeasure, placed on the face of Liana De Bruin.
Oh, that pass was not good to Forbes. She had to thrust the left hand down to take it. It was a lot harder than it had to be. Williams just got the little shove in back play from Forbes too. George now though. Langman had a chance to pop it over the top, didn't need to because there was a huge corridor to find Van Dijk.
Huge because Maria Tutayer was working top of the circle and it split the Jamaican defence. So inexperience from Aitken, who was decoyed by Tutayer and should have stayed focused with Byfield on shutting down space on Van Dijk.
If you're watching at home for one of the first times, just try and find a moment of the match when Van Dijk is not smiling. It's unusual.
A viewer quiz.
Yeah. She enjoys her time out there. So 4.5 minutes. Squipieti on the bench. Ooh.
Good take, strong take from Aitken.
Yeah, a strong take on her skipper's head too. That's twice she's got her now.
The comment of this game has a similar pattern to the Australia-Jamaica game. Australia had established, having gone to the first break trailing by 2, they'd established a 6-goal lead by half-time. Some similarities in this one.
Yeah, it's frightening when you look at the way New Zealanders line up against England, the way that this game is evolving, to think just how tight that gold medal is going to be if New Zealand are able to get away with this, which you'd expect that they will. Ranked number 2 in the world, of course, up against number 4.
Slow ball from Henry to Forbes. Forbes is trying to split the attack wide and then have a drive from that, but it was a slow ball. Easy pickings for the Silver Fern, the speed they can inject from their back line.
And again, Thompson just not good enough to stay with Langman as she went in and away.
Yeah, De Bruin all over that. Don't know that Jamaica have the heart for this contest.
You get a fair step, Langman. You'll see it again in general play, just when she's off the ball, trying to make herself available. A good ball to, oh gee, Aitken, a little elbow.
Yeah, she was frustrated. She was having difficulty establishing a hold and a position for the ball, and in frustration on the take, just launched the elbow. And
Williams had a bit of a shot at her as well when they came together, because Aitken was less than gracious.
Bit of frustration creeping into the Jamaican camp. Perhaps a sense of this slipping away as the defending Commonwealth Games gold medalists and world number 2 start to look more and more comfortable 2.5 minutes out from the break.
Yeah, not good. And then when she went to get the ball from Aitken was, well, less than gracious is the nicest way to say it, in the way that she handed it over. Tutayer out. They're well out now, aren't they? 8 is the margin. Forbes lobbing it over the top. Good defence. Oh, great stuff from De Bruin. Put a lot of pressure on the ball, but In the end, it was well weighted, and she decided not to step back and pop for goal. Not a lot of confidence in the shooter. You want them to lead from the front, surely.
And what it does is really fuels the confidence of Casey Williams, who knows well and truly that she caused that.
So 90 seconds. Langman to Tayer, George. Van Dijk at the top of the circle. Try to get it back in. That was well intercepted, though. Nicole Aitken, of course, coming in at goal defence. The sister of Romelda, who just took it then. Better split that time. Gives herself a chance, and she'll get to advance with... Oh, she's missed it. So a gift. 40 seconds is the sign from the Silver Fern bench.
Good options in the shooting circle. The drive from Tayer, the post option from Van Dijk, and smart work outside from the mid-court for the Silver Ferns. They're looking slick, the world number 2.
They shore up. 20 seconds now at the sign from the bench. Forbes. The front. Didn't like it, thought she was pretty close. And George with a quick ball. It had to be done because time is running out. Only a few seconds left.
Oh, great work from the Jamaican defence to hold that up.
That leaves the Silver Ferns at 89 and Jamaica at 83. So the world's best is getting the best of the shooting contest so far. And here's Aitken. Big stretch. And again, choosing to dump it outside to Brian to do more work to bring it back inside under the net. So this time she'll go to goal, obviously, because she's only a foot from it. There's an unhappy coach, Connie Francis. Used to singing sad songs, might have to pump a couple out at the end of this, the way they're playing.
I think she'd be sad about Jamaica's fitness. You can't come to an event the calibre of this with players that aren't physically prepared for what they have to encounter, both on court in specific matches and long-term across the competition. And I think we're faced with Jamaica that, in terms of their fitness, aren't prepared. Don't doubt the skill base, that is a given. But I don't know that they have the legs to run with the class of the Silver Ferns.
Nice shot from Tayer.
Temapara George causing that contact. She apologises and drags her opponent to the feet, gives her a hug. She's hard to dislike, isn't she?
George, yes, she is. And it was just clumsy. That's all it was.
Yeah, that was defence from almost from an out-of-play position, and it delayed it, so it's been advanced further down the court.
So Williams in her battle with Aitken continues.
Temapara George just getting under the feet of Sasha Henry, riding the body, causes that contact. Great shot there.
Oh, good athleticism. Wonderful anticipation as well. And there it is. And not only did she get it back, but the presence of mind to lob it back over the defensive player that was between her and her shooting partner, Tayer. Good stuff.
Just allowed herself to hang in the air to explore those options. It was important for Tayer to get that second shot too. You would have seen just after the shot, she just started flicking the wrist. So it's not coming sweetly out of the fingers at the moment from Rio Tayer. She'll need that to happen should they make it to gold medal match. Oh, the layup. I don't know why you would with it, Jamaican under the post. She tries a hand at it. Variety is the spice of life for RN Van Dijk.
A little bit of fun.
And I guess, too, that just shows you how very comfortable the Silver Ferns are feeling at the moment.
Yeah. not a great deal of pressure given the score line.
Well read.
Yeah, good stuff, but a poor ball to Forbes. Tried to release it really quickly to that centre third. It's a shame after the good intercept.
Nice touch, though, between Aitken and Byfield. Just a little touch saying, don't worry, next one.
Something we didn't see a lot of from Trinidad and Tobago.
I was just thinking that.
Yeah. the lack of camaraderie on court, from an outsider looking on anyway, there weren't too many sorries or
no facial
next time.
gestures, little support, not too much harmonious connection there.
There's a fair bit of yelling at each other.
Yeah, it's quite obvious displeasure. That's not a great ball from Tutayer, but Langman has the legs to run it down, keep it in Silverfern hands.
Well, she works all day, Langman, doesn't she?
Better shot from Tutayer. Good stretch from Liana de Brain.
Oh, George did remarkably. Of course, when there's so much height on court, it makes you think that, you know, George is 5'2". It can be deceptive. But didn't she get some air? Aiken well out of the circle. Was unlucky, took the hand as well as the ball. Williams with a big lean.
Gary Burgess, top of screen from Great Britain.
Oh.
Sharon Kelly from Australia in charge of the New Zealand shooting circle, that half of the court to the right.
George just has the ball on the string though, doesn't she? That floated pass travelled 11 or so metres.
Started the game against England, but was replaced throughout. But certainly, and remember, she didn't start the games full stop.
Yeah, she was
on
injured.
The sideline.
Yeah.
They thought was just
illness, wasn't
not
it?
feeling great.
Yeah.
Wasn't anything definite, but they thought best to rest her till fully through whatever that was. And we saw her day 4 take the court against England. Started with the ball on the string, then got into bother, was replaced. Liana Barrett-Chase coming on. So like the Australians, plenty of depth in the Silverfern bench.
Funny thing was, it wasn't a belly. They said she was dizzy. Remember that first day when we asked about it. So
might have been an adjustment to heat or dehydration. Anyway, I could hazard a guess all day, but we welcomed her return on court day 4 of this competition. Remembering netball has run every day of these Commonwealth Games. There is a rest day for all tomorrow.
Are we off tomorrow?
We're off. We have a day off.
What's 50% of the commentary team doing?
Well, 50% of the commentary team is doing a little bit of study and a lot of tajing.
Off to the Taj. You'll love it.
I must remember to take my sunglasses. That's all anybody's told me. Absolutely stunning. Take your sunnies.
Yeah, well, I tell you, if you get it on a sunny day, which is this time of year, you're almost bound to it. It is just very, very bright.
Well, we haven't had any rain. We, of course, heard nothing but rain and monsoonal floods before we came over. Hazy. Clear, though, lately. 42 degrees the last few days.
It's going to be tough on the marathon runners Thursday morning with the smog.
I think too, spare a thought for the hockey girls who still have to contest their gold medal tomorrow. They've been playing in 42-degree seats, such as the time of their games for most days. So magnificent effort there.
With Thompson over the top to Grimes. Looking for Forbes. Can't find it. Aiken has to come out and circle to lend a hand.
Ooh, almost a close pass there. back to 8. So they've not been completely shrugged yet. And that's a good pressure from Thompson over the feed. A nice straight line attack at the aerial ball by Byfield. And Irene Van Dyke put out a play just for use of the hip and trying to clear some room. A little bit of a mini comeback from the Sunshine Girls.
It's what they need, though, isn't it? The game in the context of the scoreline is not out of reach with 6 minutes and some change left in the third period. It's just the fact that they've been outclassed and we're running out of legs. And New Zealand have dropped some intensity, and then, as you say, that Williams does something like that. Just terrific defence.
But they can't afford to be complacent. They need to sense on court now, and their leaders need to step up. They are on a comeback. And when they're on a comeback, they still need to execute the process well. And that's about getting ball circle edge, popping up one-on-one, not letting the long ball go because you're getting lazy. You want to do it easily.
I noticed, too, that most of the Australian team have now gone, that the brains trust of Plummer and Kenny is still there.
Yes, they did mention to me earlier that they only needed to see the top half. They just wanted to get a feel for it. They want their players fresh and just focusing on their own game plan as much as anything.
But did you get a sense of what they may do with Airedale?
No, I haven't got that far. I was just too full of praise for their game.
Yep. As
Aiken, in the moment.
As Aiken puts another one away, because it can be a challenge hanging around the village for a day, can play on your nerves, and getting out too much in the heat is an issue as well. It'll be interesting to see what they do. I'm sure they'll probably do something as a, obviously they'll train, but they'll probably get out to an event as well, just not something that'll involve them in doing too much walking.
If they train, it will be very light. It'll be just a touch. I wouldn't be surprised if there wasn't too much of that. I think Norman Plummer doesn't believe they're anywhere near their best. They've had the harder road through the semi-final, absolutely, as we watched this one. And we knew it would be after England's performance. Jamaica now going on with the comeback, and the crowd's starting to invest themselves in this contest. Australia was up by 14 by half-time against Jamaica. All of a sudden, it's a little more willing, it's a little more important.
So Brian.
She looks at De Bruyne as if to say, are you right now?
Oh, well done, Aitken.
Great hold outside, good strength from Brian. She doesn't need to lift the elbow, though, to clear Henry. It's unnecessary.
And Forbes to a shooting partner, but the call had already been made, so she'll go to goal. Can't put it away. They really needed that.
And it's getting niggly. Oh. It's on, and that was a deliberate ball to the face of Casey Williams, who's about to give her a gobful. And may not need to. And
Burgess has just chatted to Aitken about that. That was not a good look.
And now more urgency in the Silver Fern forward line. They sensed that they'd relaxed, and Jamaica was making them pay.
Yeah, they've woken up now, haven't they? George had a hand ready for that.
Just 5 the difference, and just over 3.5 minutes until the break.
And we'll have a little look at that moment at the other end. And look at that stare. And, of course, when you see the ball coming in slow motion, you don't get the sense of just how that was thrown with such velocity straight at Williams. So the margin's out to 7 again. They need a couple of unanswered goals. If they can get themselves back within 3 or 4 leading into the final break, they come out full of running Jamaica. So an important little passage this. Langman having to go back, and it's going to be intercepted, is it? Well, unlucky with the call, I would have thought. To Langman again. Holding position well as Van Dyke, but Toutayer. It's going to go for goal. They needed that. It's a settler. Thompson, the Forbes, looking for Brian. Does well. Nice little ball in. Nice passage. It was an easy way into to goal there, and Aiken has made a bit of a meal trying to put it away.
Aiken just needs to check on the voice and the mannerisms. Needs to leave it to Gary Burgess to set players out of play and make the comments.
busy enough as it is. They could perhaps hand her a whistle as well.
Look at the lift in Jamaica. They just sense that maybe it's not all spent. Maybe they can do it, or at least make it run a little longer.
A couple of important goals from Tutayer, though, in the last minute. And
that will
contact
end
call
it.
against Bryan. Yep.
That
silly.
may well end that mini run. It's not meaning the game's over by any means, but that is a settler for New Zealand. And they've been wanting it. They've been wanting the umpire to settle the niggleness of this game.
It was one of those penalties there was no need to give as well.
Not sure that's a word, is it? Niggliness, but I just made it one because it just seemed appropriate.
That's all right.
It's okay, an Annieism.
When you look in the dictionary, I think under niggliness, you'll see a picture of a Trinidad and Tobago player.
And you'll think of me. Byfield. Back to go forwards, Jamaica, as they try to penetrate this black wall of Silver Fern players.
Yeah, defending really well in this last minute, though, aren't they, New Zealand? They don't want Jamaica to end on a high. They've got themselves out to a nice lead again, and they're really defending as if the match depends on it, when you would think that they're fairly safe. But it's a lift of intensity, and I think some of that niggle from Jamaica has led to that lift of intensity.
Stunning hang from Casey Williams, up high over the shot, suspended over it, forced Aitken off target.
There's a 30-second sign being held by the Silver Fern bench.
Well, New Zealand won't enjoy the margin Australia did at half-time.
Well done, Williams.
And in back play, not on screen, the head of Nicole Aitken, sister just absolutely dropped to the ground at disappointment. They couldn't capitalise on that last play. But plenty of good signs from Jamaica. They just need to string it a little more often.
About to get underway in this final period. 15 minutes standing between the Silver Ferns at a gold medal game against Australia. They're well ahead of Jamaica at the moment.
Hasn't been a complete performance, though, has it?
No.
That was a goal-for-goal quarter. They ran level in that third period. So I guess, as we saw from Australia, not complete, not flawless. The back of their heads is the outcome, not the procedure.
See how they settle now after the words from Aitken, the coach. What they would love to have is 2 or 3 unanswered goals just to put the match at least emotionally and mentally beyond reach of the Jamaicans. And Dykes is waiting for it to be set. Leans back.
New Zealand's shooting accuracy has dropped to 86%. Jamaica shooting at 78%. Penalty count extremely high against New Zealand. Oh, great dish off, but Forbes not ready for it. And Aitken not too happy about that.
Van Dijk, interesting enough, still yet to miss. George, way to Tutayer.
Just a good shot there of Aitken holding Byfield so she didn't fall and break distance and obstruct. Well, it was a beautiful quick ball, but placed behind Temapara George. George too fast for the feed.
Well, we did say at the start of this quarter what they would want is a 2 or 3 unanswered period, and here's a chance for the third. Beautiful. So will that break the hearts of the Jamaicans? Thompson to Forbes. Aitken well out of the circle.
We've spoken about fitness being a problem for Jamaica. I think the other thing is team harmony, being used to playing together, but more importantly, being used to capitalise on the good moments, which will be few and far between in a tough match like this. But when you have a good moment, you need the rest of the group to rally behind it, and that support play in that field to be exploited. For example, the missed pass from Aitken to Forbes. Aitken just looked at her with not disdain, but like, oh, you know, what are you doing? It needs to be far more positive than that.
That post camera gave us a great little view of the continued niggle between Williams and Aitken, though. Won't be swapping Christmas cards, I would have thought, at the end of all of this.
Jamaica seemed to be wanting for discipline and heart at the start of this final quarter, which I just fail to understand when they've come off the back of a quarter where they ran level with the world number 2.
And Thompson, again, an example there where she just can't cut it with Langman for pace and making of space. Langman's just too good for her.
Gordon on the bench for Jamaica trying to motivate the Sunshine Girls. As to is Casey Everingham, but it's just not happening on court. The heads are down, the body language poor.
Because there's a big black cloud, these Silver Fern outfits. They're marvellous outfits, aren't they, with the silver down the back, but the all black down the front. Blocking out the sunshine for the girls. And 49-38, 11-goal margin. What do they have to say to the Australians? You trotted off at half-time to have a chat with Gerard and a couple of others. I know you spoke to the coach as well. How were they?
I asked Norma Plummer when she was watching the first half, forget tactical things, what emotions were running through her on a personal level. And she said mainly disappointment, that they had the game plan in place. They each knew what they had to do, but she thought they were underperforming, slow to adjust to a whistle and not executing what they'd been asked to. So she was pleased to see that turnaround. I asked her about the coaching decisions by England's coach because we were shocked at the call she made, particularly in defence, and Norma Plummer said didn't understand them at all, agreed it played right into Australia's hands.
This was a switching of Mentor and McCloma. You know, a purist to look at that and say that she was out-coached. Plummer did a better job.
Norma Plummer felt that the Australian players perhaps more conscious of the outcome and the worry of a gold medal berth and just forgetting that and executing the plan that will get you there.
Did you talk specifically about the change of green at...
Yes, I did, and she thought Lauren Nurse brought her on just to open spaces and change the attacking formula, and she thought she did a great job of that. No disrespect at all paid to Green, who had the tough section of the game.
Yeah.
And, of course, credit to Gerard and Helen, who particularly in the back end, and perhaps I might suggest after a halftime talk,
yep,
came out and really worked hard to create opportunity for Australia.
We'll pick up the play again, but we'll get you to give us a little update on what Gerard had to say. Nice ball. Again, just too much athleticism from George for her opponent. Langman and Thompson. Now that's a great, just off camera there as we look at Scarlett in the centre of that crowd. As that shot was being taken, it was a high five between George and Langman. Wonderful camaraderie amongst these women. She's lifted her shooting percentage in this last quarter.
And as you would expect from Jamaica, a timeout call. They notice that the run is again with the Silver Ferns. They're trying to stem the flow, and Sasha Henry will go to the floorboards to receive some form of treatment as Connie Francis, more importantly, goes to her players and addresses the deficit.
I wouldn't be surprised if they replace Henry. She's being run off court by George at the moment. While we've got this break, Gerard, you also had a sit down with?
Yeah, I was quite specific in speaking with Mon. I asked her what directions she had been given by Norma Plummer, and she said the beauty of her game is the one-on-one brand of netball and really working the player hard. And so it was to take Cookie out of the game in terms of shutting down space. I asked her whether the fact that she was behind her was playing the baby of the team, one of the least experienced players, did she feel a sense of having to assist there? And she said no, not at any time. She thought Laura came through the game well. It wasn't in her mind to help her, though she conceded that they do need to talk more. It's still a combination that's rarely been played historically and needs time to develop. But she was full of praise for Laura Geitz. I asked her what was said at halftime, and she laughed and said, I think, Annie, you know well and truly what was said to us. And basically it was to up the ante and to get on with it. They each could play far better netball and lift their performance, and they answered Norma Plummer's charges.
Yeah, they have taken Henry off, by the way, too.
So Gordon on court now at wing defence for Jamaica, and she was passionate on the sideline. She needs to translate that sideline support to on-court support.
Aiken just looking a little shaky now.
Less motivated. There's no belief in the face or body language of Romelda Aiken that they could turn this around. I don't even know if there's a heart to try.
Yeah, and look, when you're the pincer of the attack, you know, you need to have that constant look of confidence, constant look as if, get the ball to me, I'm going to put it in the net. They've certainly got it at this end.
There's some heart in this defensive pair for Jamaica. No doubt about that. There's inconsistency in drive from the midcourt and workload. But Aiken, I think, started like a bomb and just falling off.
Oh, Thompson.
Yeah, good work to Brain, though, shutting down the space on Forbes, so she got stuck in the traffic. It jams up the space in the circle, and that plays into Silver Fern hands.
And De Bruyne's managed to hit Williams again.
Is it a third? I think it's a third.
I think it is, yeah.
There'll be words later.
They were chuckling about it, but...
When you're trying to convince coach and captain that you'd like to be on court in a gold medal match, perhaps thumping the skipper isn't the way to go. Halfway through the final quarter, the margin is 12. Australia beat Jamaica by 14. For those of you that want to measure the respective progress, it'll be nothing in the gold medal match, but it is intriguing to watch the similarities unfold. Or touch there from Thompson. She makes Jolene Henry pay for her indecision.
Gordon, with one of her first touches, back to Thompson. One of the rare times she's been able to get cleanly away from Langman, who's been on her all day, and again still pressuring the pass.
Poor ball, wrong ball. Williams was standing that side of Aiken. The ball needed to be plugged the other side, and Aiken gets one in the choppers.
I think it was the back of the head. Well, I thought for a moment that was going to be a footwork call, and it would have been outrageous. It was great work.
Oh, Nicole Aiken doesn't... Well, Aiken didn't hear the call. She was busily defending. She didn't realise it was her. And now Gordon joins her, so both out.
And Langman was had an embarrassment of riches in terms of choices. You'd give it to either Tutayer or Van Dyke. Obstruction call, centre court. 6 minutes remaining. 13-goal margin.
Langman's had a fine game for New Zealand. She's been strong. And George and Langman just link hands slightly off camera. They were top of the circle. They enjoyed the lead up to giving possession to the shooters. They'll be pleased to see it finished.
And there's the Bashir Khan version, managed to score a goal off camera, and Aiken's going to be replaced.
Sprints from the court. Janelle Fowler's been warming up in back play. Aitken knew as soon as it was called she was gone. They're also using the opportunity to introduce Casey Everingham. She replaces Byfield. And I think that final shuffling of positional patches is concession for Jamaica. Evering back on at keeper. She started the game at goal defence. She replaces Byfield.
Aiken was almost begging to be taken off in terms of, if you're the coach watching the body language and the drop of the head, you'd be desperate to get her off court. Nice rebound.
Just a young player, and she's been noticed on the international scene. We actually wondered whether it would be a duel between her and Aiken to get starting position. Aiken, of course, has claimed it as Williams is all over Janelle Fowler, who's got little time to sub in. And New Zealand are comfortable in their status at defending their Commonwealth Games gold medal and their place in Thursday's gold medal playoff. They now bring Liana Barrett-Chase in for just a piece of the action. Smart move by Ruth Aitken, because she may need to go to that in the gold medal match.
She's been good when she's come on too, hasn't she, in the matches that we've seen so far, and we've seen all of the Silver Fern matches.
She's a quick study from the bench. She brings a wealth of speed, reoffers a treat, and lovely vision to the circle. Great repertoire of feeds. I actually think there's a little bit of a duel in the Silverns line for that wing attack position. I expected perhaps to go to the veteran, to the vice-captain, Terapara George, but they won't hesitate if she's getting beaten by Hallinan to go to Barrett Chase.
Oh, nice leap.
That recall to Jamaican centre.
Brian.
Well, Casey Williams bent over, really underneath Janelle Fowler in the landing space. Poor shot from her, pushed it rather than extended it out the top of the tunnel.
And Williams put a lot of pressure on her as well. Is Barrett Chase.
A beautiful play from New Zealand, one of the best of the match, one of the best of these Commonwealth Games. That was threaded beautifully. Starting to open up the arm, wind up the speed, having things all their own way, the Silver Ferns.
Call against Aiken, Nicole Aiken.
Connie Francis will be very disappointed as we see her on screen in the performance of her side. Such a competitor herself. And to see a talented line lack cohesion, lack heart, and lack fitness. Soul-destroying when you invest so much as a coach.
That said, though, the Netball World got the gold medal match that they craved. Yeah, it's, you know, 1v2. Of course, it was a 2-1 victory in the Constellation Cup to Australia. So a recent victory from New Zealand over Australia. They've been narrowing the gap in recent years.
A little narrow the approach there for the Silver Ferns. Cluttered at the top of the circle, so they go back to go forward, and they do it nicely.
And Barrett Chase's drive down to the pocket, and then the little lobbed pass gets a round of applause from Van Dyke.
And what a luxury to play the last 5-10 minutes of this match, knowing you're playing for a gold medal and just playing it out.
Yeah, Henry did well then too, didn't she? Tutaia, Langman.
Good work, Evering. Cancelled the outlet ball to Langman, and quick to get back to pick up Van Dyke. So nice deception from the Jamaican goalkeeper.
Contact goal defence, pass the shot.
Contact call against goal defence against Aiken. Tutaia. She may just choose to lob it over the top. No, she'll go for goal, and why not if you can do that consistently. Van Dyke shooting at least in the high 90s. She had missed up to three-quarter time. I don't know whether she's missed to this point either. Van Dyke, I can't recall one.
No, nor can I. Difficulty for us is we don't have a stats monitor operating, such has been the communication system. That's no reflection, I need to say, either of Delhi organisers. That's been an outside company hired to do it, and it really has been lacking.
So much so that they've actually taken the computer away because they just simply weren't working. Bit of contact on Fowler. But actually it's gone back out to Thompson, so it must have been Langman on Thompson. There appeared to be some on Fowler as well. 30 seconds being held up by the Silver Fern bench.
And the score very reminiscent of Australia's score. Australia 60-46, and New Zealand at the moment 59-43. Again reminds us nothing will separate the world 1 and 2 when they go into battle. Brace yourself for a goal-for-goal contest. The netball world demands it. The netball world will get it.
Yeah, and 6 goals the difference for both sides when they played England. So Jamaica will play England for a bronze medal.